Good morning. I'm back and I want to start by apologising because I have not uploaded in weeks. In fact, the last time I uploaded was 2023 and it's currently the 30th of January 2024. Now, listen, there's been good reason why I haven't uploaded. There's been a few things in the background that have taken priority and it is what it is. We are done with those now. We can move forward, stop going on about it, look into the future. So back to normal. Well, hopefully not normal, hopefully something a bit more consistent. And there's a few things that went on that will hopefully help with the consistency that I can we'll go through now. So the first life update is I've changed employment. So previously I was working as a manager, a field service manager, customer service manager for the plant and construction industry. So I managed a team of field engineers, and as of recent I am in the middle of transitioning into the world of cybersecurity. Now, I don't start my new role until this Thursday, which is the 1st, but I have stopped at my old role. Now, cybersecurity is something I've tried to get into for the best part of a couple of years, and thankfully we've finally got there. So that was an exciting piece of news over the Christmas break. But the reason that correlates with this is, first and foremost, it's a remote-based role. So previously I travelled 30-35 minutes to work, so say an hour to an hour and 10 minutes on average a day in travel. And then the new role is 1 hour less per day to my previous role. So on average I'm going to have a minimum 10 hours less working that I did previously. That's 10 hours that I can spend focusing on other endeavours such as YouTube. It gives me more freedom to focus on YouTube without hindering too many other aspects to my life, which is exciting. So yeah, that's life update number 1. What else do I have going on? Well, previously I alluded to the fact that I had a coach, had past tense, chosen on purpose. So I no longer have a coach, and I want to start that off by saying my coach was fantastic. The reason I got a coach wasn't because I didn't know how to build muscle or how to lose fat, because I know how to do those things. My primary reason for having a coach was the fact that I needed accountability. I went to the gym for a couple of years, slacked, just went through the motions and wasn't getting much out of it. So I needed accountability. I needed a professional eye. I needed to pay someone so that it gives me more motivation to actually do it. And for the months that I had a coach, I did. I was strict, I worked hard, I very rarely detoured off the plan that we had, and my coach himself was fantastic. Matt McCulloch kept me accountable. He was very insightful. He was friendly in his demeanour and how he went about things, and the relationship that we built almost left it in a sense that I wouldn't want to let him down, so I put the work in. So as far as a coach goes, fantastic. The issue is me. I don't have the drive or the dedication to have a coach or to focus on the gym that heavily. I found that, I wouldn't say overwhelming because that's a strong word. I didn't like the amount of attention that I was paying toward the gym. After work, I focused on going to the gym, prepping food and eating food. There was very little spare time outside of that, during the week especially, and as time goes on, I have come to understand that gym is not my life. It's a hobby that I enjoy doing. It's something that I will maintain, hopefully, for the rest of my life, but it is not my life, and I don't want to spend any time stressing over anything related to the gym. So, for that purpose, or for that reason, I decided to stop the coaching. And it's not to say anything bad about coaching. In fact, I would suggest coaching to anyone that has any struggle or doubt when it comes to their training or the nutrition, because it was a fantastic experience. And for me, I have trained for 10 or more years. And like anyone in any subject, after 10 years, a lot of the time you become ignorant to the situation. And I can say I was probably one of those people. However, the things that I picked up on, the insight that I got from my coach, now he is an IFBB pro, so he's very well versed in the subject of bodybuilding. The things that I picked up from him are things that I intend on using in my training going forward, or in my nutrition going forward. So I'm very thankful for the time that I had with my coach, and who knows, if bodybuilding or going to the gym becomes more of a priority again in my life, it could be something I will explore again. But for now, it's just not it's not a priority in my life. So what else do I have? That's the job, that is the coaching. Something today, in fact. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll see the gym in the background is always the same. The gym I've been going to for the past, again, probably decade, is a Pure Gym. A Pure Gym is a generic, chain-based gym, cheap and cheerful, has what you need, does what it says on the tin type of place. But I feel now, especially, that I no longer have a coach, and now that I intend on focusing more on the YouTube side of things, I want to make it a bit more interesting for me, a bit more interesting for you, and I want to shake things up, mix things up. So I've decided to join a new gym, and I mean new literally, because the gym is brand spanking new to Belfast. It's a JD gym, and it opens today to the public. There was a walk around yesterday, so you could go around the gym, have a look at it, and I'll stick some clips over this so you can get an idea of where it is. In fact, I won't. Ignore that, because I'm going today. Yeah, I'm going to train there today for the first time. So yeah, the gym clips from today will be my brand new gym. We're going to feel it for a month, see what it's like. We'll keep the other gym membership for now, just to give us options. And yeah, the new gym, first impressions, it's a great vibe. It's the polar opposite in respect of aesthetics. It's dark, neon lights, very cool sort of environment, whereas Pure Gym's very bright and open and airy. There's no right or wrong answer there, but I think that sometimes variation's nice. Now, the equipment that they have is the same equipment brand the Pure Gym has, but there are different variations of those machines, and I don't know about you, but there are certain times you try a different machine. You might be on holiday, you go to a hotel gym, and there's a plate loaded hamstring curl or something of that nature, and you just feel like your muscle's going to tear off because you haven't done that particular angle or type of movement before. And that's something I'm looking forward to with this new gym. Just mix it up, hit some different angles, and hopefully reignite the excitement that was once there for the gym. It's not to say I'm not excited. I really enjoy the gym, but it's less than what it would have been in previous years. So this will hopefully help reignite that and keep me interested. So yeah, that's really it. There's no other news at the moment. We're sat in the car not outside the gym, but outside the barber, because underneath this hat is a freaking mess. So we're going to get that sorted. We have our pre-workout, our ABE pre-workout. We also have a Squares bar to munch on. It's only 10 a.m. We have had breakfast, and for any freak out there that wants to see what I had for breakfast, I'll stick a picture up right now. It was 2 English muffins, 2 whole eggs, 150 ml of egg white, and 100 grams of berries. I have that almost every morning. It's very rare that I deter off my morning routine. So yeah, that's it. Next clip will hopefully be at the gym with a load of pre-workout in the system, hyped to the neck. Yeah, see you there. Right, here we go. Voice over time. Now, we're doing a voiceover because the gym plays very loud music to the point where you couldn't do a voiceover because the music is, one, going to drown you out, but two, the copyright is not worth the risk. So voiceovers for now, until I can figure out a way to isolate the sound from the microphone and the voice to overpower the background music. If anyone knows how to do that, please down below comment and let me know. Now, another point is, just before we get into the workout, I have to be completely transparent. The clips that you're watching now are from a day later. So today is the 31st, and the initial clips from this video were filmed yesterday in the car. And the reason we didn't film it in the gym yesterday, well, there was two. The first was, it was the opening day, very, very busy. I thought that it might be a bit awkward to pull a tripod out in the first day when you've people visiting, having a look around it. It was so busy. You've got promotional staff. So I decided not to film yesterday. That is one particular reason. The second was, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was walking around this gym, enjoying it, having a good look at all the new machines that I'm not used to, and just soaking in the environment. And listen, it was more of a priority for me to enjoy myself on the first day than it was to film. But I stuck to it, decided to film today because I couldn't not film after making the intro clips. So back to the workout. We're doing legs, as you can see, and listen, there's no real structure to this workout because I'm getting used to the new environment, the new machines. So I've just went with the flow and picked up on some of the things that I normally do and then added some new aspects to the workout. So before I started doing the lay-in hamstring curl, I did do the adductors just because I like doing them. It's something I feel that gives me a nice stretch and opens me up well for a leg workout. But I didn't film that just because there was a decent crowd of people around. But we started off with the lay-in hamstring curl, which is probably my favorite leg exercise out of everything. You get a smash and squeeze, a good contraction out of it compared to, for me personally, any other exercise. So we did 3 sets of that, working between 8 and 12 reps. And then we've moved on to, this is a new variation of an exercise I already do. So Smith machine squats is a staple in my workouts, but I wanted to try out a new form, which Jeff Nippard talks about in his Instagram and his new YouTube video, which is lengthened partials. So if you have a look at the fact I'm not coming the whole way back up again, I'm maintaining that tension the whole way through the movement, getting a deep sort of stretch, but only coming up halfway. And I have to say, I'll implement this more going forward because the burn that I got in my quads from this movement was unbelievable. Now, I didn't go crazy on weight. As you can see, the first set after warm-up was 1 plate. We then moved on to a plate and a half. I didn't want to jump up higher increments, especially in a movement that I'm not used to, just because I don't want the risk of injury, and I also want to be optimal with the movement. There's no point, and I've said this before, there's no point in just shifting a weight from A to B. The primary purpose of doing this is to build muscle. So you may as well do it as effectively as you possibly can. But again, I think for a first time trying the exercise, I'm quite pleased. The form seems okay, the tempo seems okay, and it was comfortable on both my knees, my back. There's no discomfort throughout the movement. But we did 3 sets, and the heaviest we went was 2 plates. So this is the third and final set. Now, again, just because I'm new to the movement, I decided to wear a belt, and I just want to be as careful as possible, for now anyway, until I get more comfortable doing the 2 plates and moving up to 2.5 and eventually 3, hopefully over the next coming weeks. But this angle is just to show you the depth that I'm going and as high up as I'm going. So there's not a lot of scope between the bottom and the top of the rep. And as you can see, it's a nice slow tempo, probably spending 2-3 seconds in total within the movement, which according to research for muscle building, anywhere between 2 and 7 seconds in a movement is optimal. Obviously the movement dependent as well as the person doing it. There's different movements will react differently to a certain amount of tension. So for me, that felt perfect. Now, I moved on to this. I forgot to check what the name was. We're going to call it upside down leg press because that's what it looks like. I will get the name the next time I'm in. But for now, it's upside down leg press. I've never done this before. And again, I liked it. I think it was very quad orientated. And in this first set and even the second set, I was more trying to figure out the right positioning, how far down to pull myself, where to put my legs, and that's why there's only 10 on each side, so not heavy at all. But in the second set, we did move up a slight bit. Again, nothing crazy. I think that's 20 kilo each side, yep. And this time I pulled myself down a little bit further. As you can see, my head is halfway down that headrest, but I do feel that there's more room to pull myself down further again. Again, I think that depends on personal preference, your height, and I suppose your stretching ability of your feet, your Achilles heel. But for the most part, it was an enjoyable exercise. I will definitely do it again, and I think that for a quad dominated workout, this would be a perfect add-on. And you could push heavy weight. I was pushing this quite comfortably, and I wasn't wanting to go crazy just because it's the first time doing the movement. So it was more important to figure out my positioning, my tempo, and again, over the coming weeks, if we implement this movement a bit more, we'll up the weight. But here's the third and final set. Again, everything today, no structure, 8 to 12 reps, 3 sets, not focusing too heavily on anything else other than just enjoying the new environment, trying out the new machines, doing a bit of research, for the future. But after that, we moved on to, I want to say, it's the one-legged, if that's what you want to call it, one-legged hamstring curl, standing hamstring curl. Now, the thing I like about this, it's unilateral or single-legged, and more often than not, some people have dominant legs, a right or left leg, and whenever you're doing a fixed bar for both legs, you could be in a situation where one leg is being favoured more than the other because of its strength. This single-legged option, or the unilateral, or whatever way you want to describe it, gives you a chance to understand the strength of each leg individually. And if you do have any inconsistencies between the two legs, you know that you can work them both at the same weight, they're both putting the same amount of effort in, and hopefully over time the weaker one will catch up, or at least get as close to the dominant leg as possible. So yeah, I thought this was a nice change. We don't have this in the other gym, the Pure Gym. And again, 8 to 12 reps, going quite slow with the tempo. The one thing I noticed, at the bottom of the rep seems a lot harder than the top. When you get to the top, especially with the lighter weight, I think this was 5 each side, you tend to feel the pad coming away from your foot because you speed up ever so slightly at the top of the rep. So I was getting used to slowing that down and making sure the pad maintained on my leg throughout the whole movement. But it was good, nice contraction. I do prefer the laying hamstring curl over this, but as I mentioned, this has benefits of its own that the laying hamstring curl doesn't have. Not that you can't do that one single-legged, but it's not as comfortable because it's not designed for that purpose. To the right of this machine, there is a single-legged, unilateral, whatever word you want to use to describe it, extension. I never got to use it today because other than being free right now, it was taken the entire time. But we'll give that a whirl next time. For now, we'll stick to the leg curls. And unfortunately, it's not the best of lighting. My fat ass is sticking back, so it shadows the hamstring. You don't get to see any activation, which I suppose when you're wearing trousers, you're not going to see too much activation anyway. But again, second set, didn't go up the weight because I'm not used to this machine. Plus, to be honest, with 5 kilo each side, it was quite heavy. I did try 10 when I was warming up, and I realised that I might get 6 to 8 reps out at a struggle. But for now, I want to get used to the machine. I want to get used to the tempo, and over time we'll build that strength. It's not important right now. It's a new movement, and I'm pretty sure because of the angle and the movement being new to my body, I'll probably feel it anyway. I mentioned this at the start of the video. Different variations of different machines have a different effect on your muscle. You might, squeeze in a particular angle or fashion that you're not used to, which activates your muscle, a bit better than what it may have been previously. Now, I don't know why. Normally I wouldn't chuck this in at the end, but I went for straight leg deadlifts to finish off. It's a movement that I've been implementing a bit more recently. I'm not great at it, but there's raving reviews of how good this movement is. I don't get a massive amount of activation, but I'm determined to keep trying it until I perfect the form and that activation starts to happen and compound over time. Started off with 60 kilo, which was relatively light, just to sort of help open up the hips, get comfortable in the position. But then we've moved on to 2 plates, 100 kilo, which again was relatively light for the most part. I think watching the footage back, the form is pretty good. I think I have no complaints, so that's why I opted, as you can see, to go a bit heavier. So 140, belt on, health and safety and all that jazz. And again, it didn't feel that difficult, but I can see my back starting to round ever so slightly toward the end of this set. So that may have been a bit too heavy for now, taken away from activating the hamstrings and the glutes and more pressure being put on the lower back. So I think I'll drop it down next time and focus a bit more on perfecting that form. Now, to finish off, I love this. Standing calf press is next level. I've tried this at a couple different gyms, but for my gym they don't have it, which is disappointing because this activates my calves personally more than any other exercise. That might be different for you, but for me, I love it. I did 3 sets all in, and I have to say my calves at this point, sitting on my sofa, feel like they're going to tear off. I love that. Anyone that knows me on a personal basis will know that I am not confident when it comes to my calves. I don't have great calves. I have very high insertions, and to be honest, I neglected them for years. So moving forward into 2024, I want to focus on hitting calves 3 times a week consistently. 1 to 2 exercises each time, but enough sets and enough volume to, at least think to myself I'm putting a proper amount of emphasis on it as a muscle, rather than just chucking it in every now and again and forgetting that it is a muscle. But listen, for now, that's us done. So please like, comment, subscribe.